What is the difference between being an influencer who's primarily focused on their vanity project versus a key person of influence who uses their personal brand to grow their business and get business results? Let's unpack it today. So when I talk about the idea of being a key person of influence, people often say to me, Dan, I do not want to be taking photos of my breakfast. I don't want to go to the gym and have to kind of like do a selfie in the gym. I don't want to let people into my life. I don't want to talk about my kids or my family or my home or any of the personal stuff that I don't want to share publicly. So for that reason, I don't want to build a personal brand. I don't want to put myself out there, and I'm just not going to engage with that at all. And I really want to put your mind at ease that being a key person of influence is not the same as being an influencer. You don't need to be an extrovert. You could be deeply introverted and a very successful key person of influence. You could be completely private and be a very successful key person of influence. No one could know anything about your family life, your personal life, and you would still be a massively successful key person of influence. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. So what is a key person of influence? A key person of influence is the type of person who represents their business within their industry really, really well. They have a voice within their industry, they're respected in their industry. When people talk about a particular topic or niche or business, this person's name comes up in conversation. They attract opportunities because of that. They earn more money. They're positioned as high status within their industry. They're not seen as just a normal worker bee. They're seen as a key person of influence. They're seen as well connected, well respected. And for all of those reasons, they're gonna have an edge in business, in their industry. In many cases, a key person of influence is someone who expands geographically. Because they've put themselves online and because they've got a solid, clear voice and message, they're able to attract people in far and wide geographies. They might have customers in Brazil, they might have customers in the USA, they might have Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and all of those people understand that this key person of influence helps people to solve this type of problem if they're this type of person, right? So they're known for that type of a niche. They're typically not known for a geography, and they're not seen as a generalist, and they're not seen as someone who sells their time for money. They're seen as someone who is a strong voice in the industry, someone who attracts opportunities. Now, when we think about an influencer, very, very different animal, even though we're using the same word influence. An influencer is typically someone who has dominated a social media platform, perhaps like Instagram, and they're making themselves the center of attention. They're saying, check me out, I'm amazing, I drive a great car, I have an amazing fitness routine, I have a great diet, I live in a nice big house. And they're really saying, look at me, look at me, look at me, I am the amazing center of the stage, I'm the star of the show. A key person of influence is not doing that. They're not saying, look at me, they're saying, look at that. So rather than thinking about trying to chase the spotlight, a key person of influence is trying to become the spotlight, and they're using that spotlight to say, look at this thing, look at this data, look at this story, look at this research, look at this transformation that can happen. And they're saying the focus is not me personally, the focus is what could happen for you, right? What are the results that we can get? The key person of influence focuses on those outcomes, those challenges, those frustrations, those problems that can be solved. The influencer focuses on themselves and their journey and their narrative, and hopefully people want to just follow along for that reason, right? Very, very, very different strategy. Now, before we carry on, I just want to let you know, I'm going to be running a live workshop where we can interact, and it's all about step-by-step how to implement the 5 Ps to become a key person of influence, and it's an opportunity to do Q&A. If you've got any resistance to being a key person of influence or any questions as to how it applies to your business or your industry, this would be the place to bring those questions. We're going to have more time. We're going to have about 90 minutes to go through in detail. So if you're ready to attend a live workshop, this is going to be a great use of your time. It's completely free and it's live, it's interactive. I'll be there on Zoom. You'll be there on Zoom. We'll be able to connect. We'll be able to interact. Register by clicking the link that's somewhere in the description around this video, and I'll see you there. Now, back to the video. How do we become a key person of influence, right? Over the last 15 years, we've been talking about just the same 5 things, and we haven't really altered them or changed them because they just keep working and working and working and working. 15 years ago, we talked about the 5 Ps, and 15 years later, we're still talking about the 5 Ps because every single time we implement the 5 Ps, it works again and again and again across 50 plus different industries. 5,500 business leaders have implemented this and seen great results. So we don't need to mess with the formula. The formula works. Let's talk about those 5 Ps. The first one is the way you pitch yourself. When you answer the question, who are you, or what is it that you do, you want to have a powerful key person of influence pitch ready to go. You've rehearsed it, you've planned it, you've got it ready, you know how to deliver it. And the key person of influence pitch really is the differentiator between you being seen as a newbie or a worker bee or a respected key person of influence. When people answer the question, what do you do, in a very normal and generic way, they get pinned as being normal and generic with normal and generic pricing. When people answer the question, what do you do, with a really interesting pitch, they immediately get seen as a key person of influence who's different, who probably charges a premium, who probably has a much bigger audience. So the way people see you, and people do judge pretty much straight away, is dependent upon how you answer the question, what do you do? So that is called a social pitch. The other type of pitch that's really powerful is called a presentation pitch. This is where you're going to present for maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes, and you're going to talk people through who you are and what you do. And this is where you're going to talk about the problems that you solve and how you solve them, and your purpose beyond making money and why you solve those problems. You're going to be talking about the bigger picture opportunity. You'll talk about your credibility that you've got. All of that will come out seamlessly in a presentation, and people will see that presentation and say, wow, I want some more of that. So P number 1 is called pitching. P number 2 is publishing. The word publish means to make ideas public, right? To take what's in your head and put it out there. Isn't it interesting that the chefs that charge the most money and have the most successful restaurants are actually the ones that publish their recipes? They've got the recipe books out there. They're literally telling you how to do what they do. They're literally saying, these are the ingredients that I use. This is the step-by-step as to what I do to make the food. And isn't it funny that even though they put that out there, people say, hey, wait a second, I like the recipe book, but I actually want to come to your restaurant and actually have someone else deliver that for me. So it's a bit the same with business. The more you share your ideas, the more you share your recipes, the more people go, hey, you know what you're talking about. I don't want to steal your recipes. I want to come to your restaurant, metaphorically speaking. So if you're a business coach, share your business coaching ideas. If you're a life coach, share your life coaching ideas. If you're a physiotherapist, share with people a little bit about what you know and what you've seen to be true. If you help people build better relationships, talk about the step-by-step fundamentals of building a better relationship. Share your pillars of wisdom, share your intellectual property. Most important, share your unique case studies and stories from the last 5 years. P number 3 is the product ecosystem. You do not want to be selling your time for money. You want to be selling products and services that are delivered by you and your team, and you want to be able to productize a lot of what you do and a lot of what you know. So what is it that you would publish? You would publish articles on LinkedIn, you'd publish podcasts, you'd publish videos, but most importantly, publish a book. A book says that you're an author who's committed to your industry, that you've committed yourself to a certain set of ideas. A book is an amazing gift. When you give that book out, you're going to get lots of people who read it, or at least who know that you wrote it, and they're going to want to engage with you further. In the same way that you've read books and then wanted to engage with the author, people are going to read your book and they're going to want to engage with you and your business. Let me pause there. If you haven't checked it out before, check out the software bookmagic.ai. It's a way of turning your ideas into a structured book. The AI doesn't write the book for you, but it does structure your thinking into the chapters of a book and tells you what to write in each of those chapters, and it doubles the speed that you can write a book. So if you haven't written a book before and you want to, bookmagic.ai is the place to go and check that out, and you can have a book out in the year ahead. So product is that key people of influence. They do not sell themselves, they don't sell their time, they sell outcomes, they sell product and service ecosystems. They have a scalable product associated with their name, and that allows them to build a brand and scale their revenues alongside that brand. So a product and service ecosystem, we want to be able to take what you know in your head, turn it into intellectual property, and that intellectual property will form the basis of a few different products. You probably want to have an assessment tool as a product where people can go online and fill in an assessment. Maybe you want to have a mini course or a short course that people can subscribe to. Maybe you want to have a subscription product that brings in recurring revenue. A few hundred people paying $30 or $40 a month could be a game changer if that's a high margin product. Maybe you want to package up a group of products and services, and that can form the basis of a new, strong core offering. Your core product offering could be gold, silver, and bronze, and it could have different components in each, and that could be a really great way to go from selling time for money to outcomes for money. And that could be all packaged up in that product and service offering. So productization is where you stop being on a treadmill of delivery and you take a little bit of time to think objectively about what you know and what outcomes you can deliver, and then you go through the process of packaging that up. We do a lot of that on the Key Person of Influence Accelerator at dent.global, and this is where we really slow you down, get inside your mind, find your intellectual property, and build that into a product and service ecosystem. The key here is that you need to be able to scale your revenues at the same speed that you can scale your brand. So as more people discover who you are, they can easily buy something or subscribe to something, and your revenue scale just as fast as people are discovering your message. So on that, once we've got a product and service ecosystem, we want P number 4, which is to build your profile. Building your profile means more people know who you are, that more people know about your message, more people understand what you're all about. They know the problems that you solve, they know your stories and your case studies, they know the key results that you offer and the outcomes that you deliver, and that you've actually built that into a profile. They discover you on social media through organic content. They discover you through some ads that you might run. The best thing that you can do is get onto other people's platforms. If you can get onto other people's podcasts, other people's YouTube channels, other people's blogs, that means that for the last 10 years, they've been building an audience, and because you're seen as a key person of influence, they invite you to speak to that audience, right? And it's a game changer. I've seen some of our clients get onto stages in front of 500 people, and they've made their year's worth of sales in a single presentation. I've seen people get onto a podcast where tens of thousands of people see that podcast, and it creates a flood of new business, new clients come, and also that podcast becomes a profile asset. So the 4th P is deliberately building a business profile as a key person of influence, and there's a real strategy around this. We want to make sure that we're taking deliberate action to do things like win awards, show up powerfully on social media, and get onto other people's platforms. Oh, by the way, while I'm making a few recommendations, I said book magic for writing a book. I want to talk about August recognition for winning an award. So Donna O'Toole, who runs August Recognition, she wrote an amazing book called Win, and it's all about how to win awards. She runs an agency called August Recognition, and August Recognition can actually help you to find out all the things that are special about your business, and then enter in for awards that are appropriate and win those awards or become finalists for those awards so that your business gets more recognition. If you have never won an award, or if you want to win more awards, talk to Donna at August Recognition. I'll put a link in the description. Okay, so the 5th P, the last one, is the money step. This is called building partnerships. Imagine that I said to you, I'm launching a new business and we're going to do $20 million in the first 12 months. You might say, how on earth are you going to do $20 million in the first 12 months? Now, if I told you that I had a partnership with George Clooney, who was going to be the face of the product, and I also had a partnership with Walmart, who was going to distribute the product, you would say, why are you only planning on doing $20 million? What's the limiting factor? Why aren't you going to be doing $200 million in the first 12 months? Because the partnerships dictate that, of course, this is going to be a hugely successful venture. When you partner with the right people, everything becomes easy because you get the multiplier effect. The multiplier effect is where you take someone else's 10 years that they've been putting their energy and effort into, multiplied with your last 10 years where you've put your energy and effort into, multiply with someone else's 10 years where they've put their energy and effort, and now you combine that and you get this multiplier effect. So for example, you might have someone who has a newsletter with 10,000 subscribers that promotes a really great, well thought through product that has an endorsement from a professor at a university. And by actually combining all of those elements, you now get a multiplier effect of credibility with distribution, with product and service advantages, right? It all comes together nicely. You structure that partnership. The key to this is stop being in your business and start being a key person of influence who's putting together these deals. It's so easy these days to just be busy but not productive. And it's so easy as well to be productive, highly productive, but not busy. You've got to make that choice. Do you want to be the person who is structuring a partnership that achieves millions of dollars in a single email send? Or do you want to be the person who's running around like a headless chicken and getting very little done and making very little money? The choice is yours because it's easy to do either. And I really want to encourage you, get yourself to the position where you can do those partnerships. Now, those partnerships don't happen unless you've got the first 4 Ps in place. You've got to have a really nice pitch. You've got to publish your ideas. You've got to have a product and service ecosystem that's ready to scale. You've got to have a good profile when somebody Googles you. And when those 4 things are in place, the partnerships are easy if you want to go out and do them. So those are the big 5 Ps: pitch, publish, product, profile, and partnership. And if you focus on those, you will be seen as a key person of influence in your industry. You'll stand out, you'll scale up, and you'll make a massive dent in the universe. So which of the 5 Ps are you already strong? Which one of the 5 Ps do you need to work on the most? Let me know in the comments below. I love the immediate feedback. I see every single comment, and I would absolutely love for you to put into the comments below which one of the 5 Ps you need to do the most work on. Also, give this video a like and subscribe, or share it with someone that you think should be a key person of influence known by a lot more people.